The story kicks off back in 1878, out in the rough parts of the Montana Territory. We're introduced to this guy Colton Briggs, a fella who's basically a legend around those parts because of how cold-blooded and sharp he is with a piece. People whisper about how he never misses a shot and how he's laid out every lowlife who ever crossed his path. Because he's got those kinds of skills, he's currently on the government payroll to handle a real nasty piece of business. There's a public hanging set to go down right in front of the whole settlement. The guy with the noose around his neck is Robert, the brother of a real piece of work named Walter McAllister. Walter runs a crew that's famous for pullin' brutal robberies where they bust into homes, grab everything that ain't nailed down, and leave nobody alive to tell the tale. Colton is there as part of a posse to make sure this hanging goes off without a hitch.
Open up Clark's Mercantile and Trade.
Jim, you're going home now.
You're going home.
Colton's running the security for the whole show, and he knows damn well Walter's gonna show up with a whole army to break his brother out. You could cut the tension with a knife as the town waits for the fireworks to start. The sheriff is standing right there with Colton while the guy on the trapdoor waits for the end. But right before things get finalized, the whole place turns into a madhouse.
You understand what's happening here today?
You're home.
Know your place. You stole from me. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You know where in the world sinners go? I can tell you. But sure as hell ain't Wyoming. Let him have.
Walter and his whole crew roll up and start spraying lead in every direction. Right in the first volley, the sheriff gets taken out instantly. Panic hits the crowd and the whole town turns into a total circus of violence. But through all that bedlam, Colton Briggs stays cool as a cucumber. He sees his opening and starts methodically picking apart the guys who showed up to start trouble. He's moving with terrifying precision, and he only needs one bullet for every target he picks. Like the stories say, the guy doesn't miss, and he single-handedly wipes out the muscle Walter brought for the rescue.
You owe me more.
Seeing his brother's crew getting slaughtered, Robert realizes he's in a real tight spot. Robert grabs a heater to try and take Colton out, but Colton is way faster and puts an end to Robert right then and there. Then the story jumps ahead 20 years. We run into Colton Briggs again, but the guy is a total 180 from who he used to be. He's ditched the killing game and turned into a regular, law-abiding shopkeeper. All this happened because of his wife, Ruth, who really straightened him out.
Good father today and walk our daughter to school.
She's old enough to walk herself.
And I can't walk her today. Finish hanging this laundry.
I have to open the store.
Colton's running a little general store to make an honest buck and lives on a small spread. He and Ruth have a 12-year-old girl named Brooke. Colton's whole world is just his family now, and he's got zero interest in hurting a fly.
We should have taken a horse.
No.
Wouldn't we be faster on a horse?
Undoubtedly.
But Colton sees things in Brooke that really bother him. Brooke's a handful, defiant, doesn't listen, and she's got this emotional wall up. She can't seem to act like normal folk, and that lack of feeling reminds Colton way too much of his old self. We see them doing their thing as Colton takes Brooke to school, but when they get there, the place is closed because the teacher's under the weather. Since school's out, Colton brings Brooke to work with him. While Colton's sweeping up the shop and Brooke's poking around, things switch back to the farm.
Was there something you needed from the store, Mr. Johnson?
Mama needs some flour, but Mr. Johnson says
How many pounds?
just a 20-pound bag will do.
£20 of flour. That'll be
Would you
$1.
apply it to my mother's account? Thank you, Mr. Briggs. Madam.
You finished reading your book?
He tried to steal some jelly beans.
What?
That man, I caught him taking some jelly beans and he put them back.
You put them back. You want one?
No,
And what do you want?
his hands were dirty.
Ruth is out there by herself doing the laundry. All of a sudden, 4 guys ride up to the place, and the one leading the pack is a grown-up James McAllister.
My name is James McAllister, and me and my companion's been on the road for several days now.
Companions?
Food's there? Oh, that's Big Mike.
Checking to see if there's anybody in your garden.
You gentlemen should have just knocked.
James plays it cool at first, acting like they're just lost and need a place to catch their breath. But Ruth's a sharp cookie and she knows right away these guys are up to no good. Realizing she's in trouble, she tries to make a break for it.
You alright?
The bitch keep me in the balls!
Madam, I think you got the wrong idea about... Now, I know you're scared.
The guys catch her easy and drag her back to the house. That's when James drops the act and tells her who he is. He tells Ruth her husband is a monster who killed his father right in front of him 20 years back. James says he's here for his pound of flesh and Ruth's gonna be the one to pay for Colton's past.
Is this your husband? Is he the man we saw walking down the street this morning? Colton Briggs.
My husband
Oh, I've certainly heard of your husband.
saves me the trouble of explaining it to you. Boys are in a world.
Are you serious? Colton Briggs?
And I'm his wife. You boys have woke up the dead.
God damn it, Jimmy.
The crew stabs Ruth to death. Before they take off, they leave a nasty message on the wall in her blood just to twist the knife.
Time to head home.
Later on, Colton and Brooke get home and he knows something is seriously off. As they pull up, they find Marshal Franklin Jarrett and a bunch of deputies waiting there.
Family's here.
Still alive?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Jarrett's been chasing the McAllister crew and he's floored when he sees Colton's setup. He can't believe a guy who used to make people shake just by saying his name, a guy who only dealt in death, could actually settle down and have a family. Jarrett feels bad having to tell him they heard shots and found Ruth murdered. For Colton, his whole life just goes up in smoke right then.
Marshal? I'm sorry, Briggs. We need to talk. Somewhere private, preferably.
After a long quiet, he just says he's gonna dig a grave for his wife. He starts digging right by the house while Jarrett hangs around. As Colton's working the shovel, Jarrett talks about how tough Ruth was, saying she was the only one who could handle Colton and keep him on the right path.
Go get them horses ready.
While they're talking, Jarrett's watching Brooke and sees something that gives him the creeps. The kid hasn't shed a single tear even though her mother's dead. Most kids would be falling apart, but Brooke's got a stone face.
Your daddy, I never met anybody like him. Like he was looking through you, like you were nothing. And I don't say this lightly, but your daddy was a violent man.
Why are you telling me this?
I guess I just want you to understand how good a woman your mama was. She took the coldest killer and she turned him into a family man. Minding the store, raising a little lady.
My father used to kill people.
Yeah, but that was years ago.
I haven't even seen my father hold a gun.
Well, that's because he's a good man now, because of what your mama done.
You carry a gun. Are you a good man?
I try to be.
My mama's dead now. Is my father still a good man?
Eventually, Colton asks who did it. Jarrett tells him to keep his shirt on and let the law take care of the payback.
I reckon we'll be hitting the trail.
Tell me the names of the men who did this.
No, sir. Briggs, listen to yourself. See that little girl over there? Whatever changes happen to you, that little girl needs the man that keep right by your daughter. I will catch them, and they will hang. Take care of your daughter.
Jarrett tells Colton not to go taking matters into his own hands or going back to his old ways. Once the marshal and his guys clear out, Colton doesn't listen for a second. He goes to an old trunk he hasn't touched in 20 years. Inside are his old gunfighting gear and his heaters. It's time for Colton to dig up his past to make sure the guys who killed his wife don't get to keep breathing.
Mama wouldn't like you pointing that gun at me.
He gets his gear on and brings Brooke outside. To show that his quiet life is over, Colton torches the house and the farm, burning it all down to the ground. As they're standing there in the firelight, Brooke says she needs to go back inside for something. Colton stops her and tells her they don't have a home anymore. He tells her they're on a job now with one goal, putting the guys who killed her mother in the ground.
My teacher at school is sick.
We'll get a new teacher.
Forgot my school books.
We'll get new books.
What about my
We're not
clothes?
going back. Find a new place and we'll replace everything you lost.
Except Mama.
He promises that once the business is done, They'll build something new and start over. Brooke just takes it all in with a straight face and they get ready to move out.
Take that. Then we'll eat and we'll get back on trail. It's not enough that we find these men. We need to be ready to kill them.
Colton and Brooke start their trek to track down the punks who took out Ruth. As they're riding, Colton is locked in on the trail, using those old school tracker skills to stay on the tail of the killers. Meanwhile, Marshal Jarrett and his posse are also out there hunting for James McAllister. Trying to play it by the book and bring the guys in the legal way. While they're on the move, Jarrett's talking to his deputies about how weird Colton's kid is. He remembers talking to her about her mom for hours, but Brooke didn't even sniffle. Jarrett says most kids would be a total wreck after something like that, but Brooke seemed like it didn't even touch her.
That seems strange to you, that little girl last night.
How do you mean?
She's sitting there right next to the body, not a tear on her face.
Jarrett keeps chewing on that, having no clue his crew is riding straight into a meat grinder. James's crew is hiding in the rough country up ahead. They saw the law coming and knew they were being tailed. To save their own skins and take out the problem, the gang drops a nasty ambush from the high ground. The gang starts blasting from everywhere, using the surprise to pick off Jarrett's guys like they're nothing. The first round of shots kills almost every guy in the posse. Once the gang thinks they've cleared the field and don't have anyone on their tail anymore, they pull back deeper into the woods.
You want to tell me what the hell just happened?
What the hell, boss?
You were supposed to shoot the marshal first.
It don't matter for nothing.
You got something to say, old man?
Colton Briggs is coming.
Somewhere else, Colton and Brooke are still working the trail slow and steady. After a few hours, Colton sees a lone guy coming their way in the distance. It's one of Jarrett's deputies, and the guy is in bad shape from the ambush.
I don't know if he is a lawman. Chances are he won't stop and give me time to ask.
Can't you think of another way to stop him?
You stand there and get him to stop.
How?
Cry. Make him feel sorry for you.
I don't know how.
What'd you just say?
I don't know how to cry.
You remember last summer when the Parsons' daughter died? You remember how his wife cried? Wah, my baby, my baby.
Wah, wah, my baby, my baby.
I'll have to do. Keep it up.
Wah, wah.
Okay, little girl.
Wah, my baby, my baby.
What baby? What are you getting at?
Colton's on guard and pulls his gun, telling Brooke to stay back while he checks it out. He circles around through the brush to get behind the guy and ends up putting a heater to the deputy's head. Colton tells the guy to take him straight to Marshal Jarrett.
You should have gone, Mark. He looked pretty bad.
Leave you two here without protection?
I ain't helpless.
The busted-up deputy tells him what happened and takes Colton and Brooke to where the massacre went down. When they get there, Jarrett's floored to see Colton standing over him. Colton takes over the show immediately, tying up the guys who are still breathing and taking their guns.
I'll pull the trigger right now.
He cries pretty good. I'm gonna try to do it like him next time.
Colton starts sharpening his knife, looking real serious. He looks at Jarrett and accuses the marshal of holding out on him about who killed his wife. Colton says he'll start carving on the survivors to get the truth if Jarrett doesn't start talking.
You haven't committed any crimes that you can't walk away from. Pain of losing your wife. Any man might have done the same thing. But you are about to cross a line that you can't get back from. Murdering a U.S. Marshal that you have not encountered before. Are you sure about that?
Jarrett tries to talk some sense into his old pal, mentioning how hard Colton worked to go straight. He begs Colton not to go back to being a killer and asks him to stop the bleeding. Jarrett promises the law will get the guys eventually, but Colton isn't hearing any of it.
I'll take my chances.
Colton finishes with the knife and goes back to the wounded deputy. He asks for the leader's name one last time. Scared out of his mind, the deputy finally spills that the guy in charge is James McAllister.
James McAllister. Name's James McAllister. He rides with 3 men. They're all hardened criminals.
The deputy says James is running a crew of guys who broke out of the joint. He tells them that after hitting Colton's place, the gang started heading for Santa Rosa, a town down in southern Colorado. They're going there to dig up a bunch of stolen cash from an old job before they skip across the border.
They're headed to Colorado. I swear it. Hold him.
Now that he's got the info, Colton goes to the wounded guy with the knife, but he pulls a fast one and doesn't hurt the guy. Instead, he uses the blade like a pro to dig the bullet out of the deputy's wound.
Burn it with the iron or...
Smells like Mama's rabbit chops.
Well, that's the whiskey.
Colton uses what he knows to patch the survivors up a bit before he gets ready to take off. Before he leaves, Colton tells Jarrett he's taking a horse for the trip. He tells the marshal to stay out of his way while he gets his payback, saying he'll kill anyone who tries to stop him.
I will kill you before you even see me. We're taking your guns and your horse. You can't take my horse. I'll leave your horse tied up in Santa Rosa.
Justice is gonna find you, Briggs. Justice will catch you.
As Colton and Brooke keep pushing toward Colorado, they end up setting up camp for the night out in the wild. While it's quiet that night, Brooke speaks up and asks her dad about what he used to do. She wants to know about the past that has everyone else shaking in their boots.
Just like I told you.
Oh, Lord. Why Mexico? What the hell?
Now settle down.
The hell, boss?
Nothing but a dirty rat.
We're gonna have to lay low for a while.
What about this Briggs fella?
It's all part of the plan. We ain't hunting nobody. Briggs is hunting us.
Colton finally lets his guard down and tells his kid the truth about how he's wired. He says he was different from other kids right from the start. While everyone else was laughing or crying, Colton was just there, feeling absolutely zip. He talks about when his own mother died and how he just sat there quiet while the whole room was falling apart. As he got older, that numbness turned into a life of killing. He started taking people out but found he didn't feel bad about it and didn't even get a kick out of it. Colton says he saw how much people were scared of him, but he never really got why they were so afraid of dying. He didn't know what pain or fear felt like until he met Ruth.
I had never known fear.
Ruth changed everything for him and made him feel scared for the first time in his life. He figured out that if Ruth was ever gone, everything he'd built would just fall apart. He married her just to keep her close and hold on to that feeling of having a connection. Their life together was great, and Colton was more than happy to leave the killing behind. But with Ruth dead now, Colton feels like half his world is just gone. He looks at Brooke and tells her she's the only thing he's got left. He promises that the guys who messed up their lives are gonna pay for it.
Fear of losing her?
When he's done talking, Colton starts crying. It's the first time Brooke's ever seen her old man show any emotion like that.
Do you still feel like that?
Seeing him like that, Brooke tells him something she's been holding in. She tells her dad she's exactly like him and she doesn't feel anything either. She admits when her mom died, she was just numb, but seeing her dad cry makes her feel something for the first time.
Do you know the man who killed Mama? The man the marshal told us about? James McAllister? After the sun comes up, can you teach me how to shoot? I think I'd like that.
The next day, as they get back on the trail, Brooke tells Colton he's got to teach her how to shoot. Colton starts showing her the ropes and sees right away she's a natural.
Breath ends just as you line up your shot. Squeeze with your whole hand. Were you aiming for the hat?
I was aiming for his
You
chest.
pulled. You didn't squeeze.
Let's try it again.
He figures she's definitely his daughter when it comes to handling a gun. Eventually, the two of them get to the edge of Santa Rosa, the town in Colorado where McAllister's crew is holed up.
I don't like this.
Now, I need you boys to set a guard at the edge of town, all right? I need you rested for when Briggs gets here or you're no use to me. Understand?
Who wants first watch? Well, I'll take first watch.
Colton starts working out a plan, knowing James has guys inside waiting for him. He knows a straight-on attack would be a suicide mission, so he decides he needs to sneak in from the back.
What'd it say?
I don't like walking in not knowing who I'm looking for. If they know me, it'll give them the edge. I won't see them.
Do you think they'll know me?
Brooke has a different idea for her dad. She offers to sneak into town first to see what's what. She says the gang might know Colton's face, but nobody knows who she is. She thinks she can spot James and give Colton a sign to make things easier. Colton says okay to the plan, and Brooke heads into the town alone. But the plan goes south the second she gets there.
Straight for the mercantile. Go inside and ask the man to buy something.
Young lady.
The minute Brooke walks into town, James's guys recognize her. Colton and Brooke didn't know that James had been stalking them for a long time before the murder. James had been watching them from the shadows and knew exactly who Brooke was. The gang grabs Brooke and drags her straight to James.
On the serious, my little sister.
Buenos dias.
You scared to eat? Expect daughter of Colton Briggs ain't scared of nothing.
Sound like he's the one who's scared.
Sure does, doesn't it? You scared?
James looks at Brooke and makes a real nasty promise. He says he's gonna put her dad in the ground and there ain't nothing that's gonna stop it. But James tries to cut the girl a deal because he says he doesn't want to kill a kid. He tells Brooke if she wants to stay alive, she's got to join up with them and help set a trap for Colton. Brooke looks him right in the eye and tells him if anyone's dying today, it's him.
I got a monster inside of me.
You're crazy.
Outside of town, Colton starts getting a bad feeling because Brooke hasn't given the signal. Knowing something's wrong, He starts moving into the settlement. He sees a guard trying to hide and sneaks up behind him to put a knife in him quiet like. Colton doesn't use his gun so he doesn't give himself away. He moves through the place like a ghost, taking guys out one by one. Finally, the quiet ends and a total shootout starts between Colton and the rest of the gang. Bullets are flying all over the place as Colton drops a few more guys. In all that mess, Colton gets hit. One of the guys who's still alive runs to James and tells him that Colton's wiped out almost everyone and he's coming for them. James grabs Brooke and drags her out to use her as a shield. He tells his last guy to put a heater to the kid's head while he yells for Colton to show his face. Colton walks out into the open, bleeding but ready for a fight. James shoots him again and talks trash, asking if Colton knows who he is. When Colton says no, James tells him he's Robert's kid, the guy Colton killed 20 years back. James says he was too little to stop Colton then, but he's here to finish him today. Then he starts a real sick game, telling Colton he's got to make a choice. James has his gun on Colton while his guy has a gun on Brooke.
We're gonna have a showdown, you and me. You get the opportunity to bullet in my head just like you did my dad. If you do that, he's gonna blow your little girl's head off.
He says if Colton shoots him to save himself, the other guy kills Brooke. If Colton shoots the other guy to save his kid, James is gonna kill Colton. Colton doesn't even blink. He turns and blasts the other guy, saving Brooke. As that guy hits the ground, James shoots Colton right in the chest. Colton goes down with a fatal wound.
I did it!
Brooke runs over to him and starts bawling. It's the first time the kid has ever cried. James is standing there with a big grin, thinking he's won the day, but he made a huge mistake forgetting that Brooke is Colton's daughter. While James is busy bragging, Brooke grabs her dad's gun. With the same sharp aim Colton had, she shoots James right in the head and puts an end to him instantly.
You're no kin.
Brooke goes back to her dad while he's dying, and he uses whatever strength he's got left to give her his pocket watch. He tells her it's got her mom's picture inside and that the watch always helped him remember who he was. He whispers that it'll look out for her too and tells her to live her life right. He tells her she's a smart kid and knows what she's got to do. With that, Colton Briggs is gone. Marshal Jarrett shows up right after the shooting stops. He looks at the mess and shows some respect to Colton, saying even though the guy was a killer, he turned out to be a good man at the end.
Thank you.
Jarrett tells Brooke they found the stolen cash the gang buried. Instead of giving it to the feds, Jarrett hands the money to Brooke. He tells her to head back home, fix up the shop, and live a quiet life. He says he'll help her out if she ever needs it. What Jarrett doesn't know is Brooke already moved most of the money into her own bags.
My daddy gets to be a hero.
In exchange for your discretion, yes.
I believe that sounds about right. Marshal, did you find your horse?
Tied up at the edge of town.
Just like he said.
Yeah.
The guys take Colton's body back to town to give him a real burial. Brooke gets ready to ride home with the cash as the movie ends.